Governor Mills announced today the state has chosen Sears Island as the location of an offshore wind port critical to developing the nation's first floating offshore wind power research array. Lawmakers and community leaders who had a hand in the initiative gathered for the announcement in Augusta. For the past 3 years, offshore wind has been a topic of interest to lawmakers due to the possibility of creating more jobs, diversifying the economy, and sustaining clean energy while fighting climate change. However, many who work in the fishing industry have concerns over how the offshore wind turbines could impact their jobs. Mills said all options were weighed in, choosing from the potential sites in Searsport, Eastport, and Portland.
I believe the state-owned parcel on Sears Island is the best, the least expensive, and least environmentally harmful option that will, at the same time, unlock significant economic and clean energy opportunities for the people of Maine. And fundamentally, we all share the same goal: to protect this beautiful place we call home from the ravages of climate change.
There will be a number of obstacles tossed in the path of the permitting process and by others, not friends of Sears Island, not me personally by any means, but it has the potential to slow the process, which is not productive.
Opponents are questioning why this project will not work on Mack Point. Steve Miller, a member of the Alliance for Sears Island, said his group was planning a demonstration Wednesday because it felt the state was breaking its promise to Maine residents by locating the port on the island. The next step involves the Maine DOT applying for state and federal permits that include assessments on the environmental impact of the project. As of now, the permitting process could take up to a year, and the total cost could be millions of dollars.